So hey guys, welcome to Nighttime Lights, and I have my friend Kyle, Brad, and Levi here with me today, and we're gonna play Pass the Popcorn again. So, as you all know, you guys know how this segment goes, so we're gonna just jump right into it.
Let's see if anyone can dethrone the king here.
I mean, this might be a tough obstacle to overcome.
How are all you feeling about this so far? Good?
I mean, about as good as
That is
Okay.
good as I'm gonna get.
Okay. And I see Levi's
his eyes just like sink. He's just like, shit, we're doing this
Pretty
again.
much.
Oh my god.
Poor Levi. We each try to get 1 point. Just 1 point tonight, Levi. 1 point.
You already got a point for entering the building, so we're all good.
Okay, so the first question of the night is, Michael Keaton played which Spider-Man antagonist in the Spider-Man movie Homecoming?
Oh, Vulture.
Oh, we already know who's gonna win already. Bing!
You gotta slow him down a bit. Gotta handicap him.
Okay, question number 2. Who played K in Men in Black?
Ooh.
Oh, no.
The Agent K.
I know who it is. It's just like, I can't
Come on,
fucking
Levi,
think of the
say something.
goddamn name. I can't think of the goddamn name. It's Tom something. I want to say Tommy something.
Levi, say something. I know you got it on the tip of your tongue.
Literally any other day, if you had asked me this probably
You
like
would
2
know it
hours
right off
ago,
the bat.
I would just be like,
Obviously, the other agent is
Will Smith.
Is
Yeah.
Will Smith. Tommy Lee Jones, guys.
Tommy Lee
my
Jones.
Lord.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Jones. I knew it was 3.
It was something.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. I was stuck on the second, and I couldn't think of the third. So I got Tommy though.
What was the favorite food of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Pizza.
Pizza. He got it first.
I'm
That was first.
gonna give both points to both Brad and Levi since I'm trying to give Levi a fighting chance here. Who played the black guy in Ghostbusters?
Ernie Hudson.
Yeah. He beat me. See, I told you.
He says it nonchalantly too. He's just like, oh yeah, you know who that is? It's and then
Ernie
like
Hudson.
just says it. He's just like,
It is what it is, bro.
it is what it is.
I still got my point for being here, so we're all good tonight.
Okay. Who directed the 2018 superhero film Black Panther? Who directed
Ooh.
Black Panther?
Wow.
Oh, like I should know this because but I don't.
But yeah.
You know what's
go.
funny is with Marvel films, I never pay attention to who's directing.
And son of a gun, we don't know it either at the point.
It was I think it's Ryan Coogler.
But I mean, he did a great job.
Jim Carrey played in this movie. He played about a person with multiple different personalities.
23.
No.
The Mask.
And Jim Carrey and
Oh,
Renee Zellweger.
Oh my
Me, myself, and Irene.
God damn it, dude! I had that one. I had it.
I was gonna spit it out too. Daggum.
In the movie Terminator, I'm talking about all the movies. Tell me the company. The main. Fuck.
You gotta let the question finish, Brad. We've already established this.
I didn't even finish the question. It's like
No. Finish the question.
All right,
Finish
Brad.
the question now so I can answer with the same answer and
In
get
the
it
movie
correct.
Terminator, name the company that was created. Yeah, so I'm just.
Skynet.
Yes.
Oh my god.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, it's Skynet.
Okay.
Cuck. You're a cuck.
I have an interesting question here. Tell me the catchphrase. No, sorry. Name the movie that this catchphrase is from. I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah.
Sounds like half the movies ever exist.
Yeah, pretty
So
much.
it's from an action movie, and
Narrows it down.
Is it legal? Is it Lethal Weapon?
you're close. It's around the same time that Lethal Weapon was
Oh,
made.
was it Point Break?
The movie was filmed in Michigan. and it involved, you know, sci-fi action, not Terminator, but it's a separate like
RoboCop?
Brad.
I don't know. I'm just throwing movies out now.
Yes, it was RoboCop, Brad.
It was.
I've never seen RoboCop.
I've never seen it either.
I've seen all the RoboCops, but like I just never like associated that catchphrase with RoboCop.
Wait, there's more than two?
Yeah, there's
Levi.
RoboCop, and then
Come
there's
on,
RoboCop.
man. Who played the main character in The Godfather?
Oh my.
It's
Come on, Kyle.
it's either
Oh, I should
Robert
know
De Niro
this.
or
Give them a chance to think.
No,
or it's Al
it's-
Pacino or it's Marlon
Marlon Brando.
Brando.
Point for Brad. Maybe
I gave y'all the chance.
maybe that's the beer that's slowing down.
Oh, hey,
Their
we got plenty
minds.
left. Let's keep giving it to him.
I really need to find something that at least give people points here.
We already got a point. We walked in the building. There's 1 point there.
I think Brad should get deducted a point for walking in the building.
Who directed Terminator?
I don't know that one.
Oh,
Seriously?
this is
I
a first.
You
don't
don't know
I
who
actually
directed?
don't know that one.
Wow, that's
Yeah, when it comes to action directors, man.
that's
I don't know.
amazing that
I think
Brad
all the
doesn't know
other
this.
people who don't have points have lifelines. We gave one lifeline to
Call
use
in.
Google. Call it Google.
Call it Google.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, it should be whoever can.
Yeah, come on, guys. Like, who directed?
Look up the answer fast enough.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, wait a minute. Which Terminator?
I'm talking about the very first one.
The very first
go.
one?
Yes, the first one. Come on, Levi, you can do this.
James Cameron.
God.
I was about to speak into Google.
I was too.
I was so close
You know
to
what?
just doing that. Okay, Google.
Okay, Google, let him say the answer. We'll figure out who
You
you
guys
are.
have the best advantages. like Levi. This is
I
your
don't even
shit.
know how we got that.
I don't
'cause I'm
know.
the Google.
That was
king.
it.
I know. That's
Brad knows I am like the human version of Google.
With many reports coming in, the disappearances seem to be a global event. Several nations are closing their borders, as well as suspending all flights in or out of the country. We're also waiting for any news concerning the president and the White House staff. In this growing atmosphere of panic,
You know those things are gonna kill you, right? What are you so happy about?
crime, violence, disappearances, I can hardly wait to see what happens next.
Seriously?
Ray, this is what we've been waiting for.
You're a piece of work. I need to get the van back to the station. Let's go. Hey, are you saying what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's go check it out.
Okay. Hey, what's going on over there? Hey, leave that guy alone. He's not doing anything to you. Mind your business, man. Hey, man, I'm not trying to start any trouble now. Man, you already started it. Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Sure.
I used to do church productions at a large church in Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
And my passion was just acting. We did big shows from Christmas and Easter productions. So I did characters such as Judas, Roman soldiers, things like that. One of the ladies who were in charge started her own production company.
Yeah.
And she said, Tony, I think I have a role for you that fits you perfect. And I said, of course, you know, I find myself a comedian, so I love to act. So her first movie was called The Basement, and so she cast me as a camera guy in the movie. I played Ray. And from that, it's just taken off, and I've been truly blessed to get roles and just enjoy what I do. Well, being that I started in 2012, one of the most difficult ones is when you have to reshoot, because we have producers that want perfection, and I'm totally for that. So sometimes making sure that you repeat the same wording, the same was a challenge. But then being nervous that you're going to mess up, and because you always want to do your best the first time. So one of the most challenging things I've had was in my first role. I was so nervous, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually I was driving a vehicle with a green screen, and I had the wording taped to the steering wheel. And so I was trying to read the words, and the director said, "Stop, cut, something just isn't right." And so I fessed up, and she started laughing, and she's like, "Just relax, let it flow naturally." And so after that, I felt confident, and I threw away those wordings, and it just came out naturally. Well, that's key right there. Pretend the camera isn't there. Be yourself, because if you acknowledge that the camera is there, you're going to be nervous, you're going to mess up, you're going to stumble. Just pretend like you're in a natural conversation, just like you and I are having. Well, I have to say, it doesn't come by myself. It comes with the people I work with. I've worked with phenomenal actors, Michael Joyner, Patrick Van, just numerous of actors. And so you feed off of their character as well. And when you get in a dialogue with other actors, it brings out the best in you. Well, it's so many. I work with Chris, I work with Patrick, Michael Joyner, Angie, it's so many that I can't even think of. Shakira, she played my boss in the last movie, and it's just wonderful to see the chemistry you have on set. Yeah. It's like a family, Well, it goes back to high school. I played in Hamlet. We're starting off so young, when you do live productions, it's live. So if you mess up, you mess up. Exactly. But being an actor, you can cut and reshoot. And so that basically shaped what I do now, because I know that, I had to learn the wording and the parts live. Yeah. And so I think that assisted me with becoming the actor that I am today. Well, I'm not gonna say either one is real easy, but the era of mistakes is better on camera than it is live, because if you mess up on camera, you can edit it, delete, cut. But on live, when you have an audience looking at you, if you mess up, you have that deer in the lights head, like, oh no, did I just say that? So it is more difficult live than it is on film. No, I have not. I've been on a few radio stations, WTOP up in Northern Virginia, talking about hirings of veterans. I've been on TV for some of the races. I got interview with local news before one of the runs. But other than that, as far as an acting role, it's my heart, it's my passion, and hopefully one day someone will discover me and some of the people I work with that you can see new talent on TV. Long days, long hours. When you reshoot and then you have more scenes, or something that has helped me is prayer. Something I like about JCL production is before we start any shoot, we pray. And I think, and same with Adam, before we started, we prayed, because God gives you that peace. And so whenever you start to get stressed, you just have to take a step back, calm down, and know that it's going to be okay. Because, you know, trying to remember the lines that you have and you want to do it perfect and you want to make your audience believe the character, sometimes it is stressful, but you just need to have patience and just be committed to what you're doing. I think on my first movie, where I played Ray, where I got shot, and then I had a dying scene. It was hard because, one, we don't practice dying. And so, having been coached by some of the great directors, producers, it was a challenge, that, you had to make sure that you said your lines, but realize that, you have to pretend that, you're dying. So, and that's one of the challenges with making movies is sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone. And so that role was very challenging, and to this day my mom watched it once, and it's hard on her to see, her son dying in a movie because it could be real life. Oh, my mom is very supportive. When Dawn, the new movie, came out on Amazon a few weeks ago, she wanted to watch it with me. And, family members would be honest with you. And she told me she thought in that movie I was a real booty hole. So that meant I did my job correctly. My kids, they love what I do. I feel that, without family support, it's hard, but so far I have family support, so I'm very pleased. Wow. I give you three. One is John Travolta. I just think he's an awesome actor. He's had different type roles. As I stated, Denzel, I really feel. And I'm speaking off for what I've heard, not fact, but I was told if he plays a bad character, he would kill himself off in a movie. And if you look back at all his movies, he dies in all the movies that he's a bad guy. But he just, you can tell in his heart, he's behind the acting. Wow, that's a really great question. I have never been to school for acting, which, a lot of people spend a lot of money. I did go and apply to, I think, AMTC. I'm probably saying it wrong. I went to a big audition in Convention Center down in Virginia Beach, and they selected me. But what turned me off is they stated that I needed to come up with, I want to say $4,500, $5,000, and then they train you and put you in front of Hollywood actors and things like that. And I just felt that, if you want my talent, why should I have to pay you money? And it kind of turned me off. So everything I've learned is by the grace of God, practicing or getting educated by other actors or by producers that I've worked with.
All right, guys. Hi, it's me, Misha, and we're gonna review Ready Player One. And I'm here with my friend Samantha Pontius today.
Hi.
And we just got done watching it. The movie is about our society during 2045 and how VR technology has kind of taken over mankind and society. And there's these two agencies, and it's about fighting this rebellion company called
IOI.
Yes. And it's about trying to gain back control. So, Sam, what did you think of the movie?
Awesome movie. Totally awesome. Like, the whole family can go see it. It's, like, family friendly. There's, like, action, a little romance. But, the PG kind, not the bad kind.
Yeah. And, I think the biggest thing that I gotta say about this movie is it's so realistic to what our society now could turn into, which is kind of scary. I mean, like, especially where VR technology is, like the filmmakers and the storytellers totally, like, pinpointed exactly what our society could transform into if our society became something that was like total takeover.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it was an amazing movie, and I know Sam loved all the nostalgia.
Yes, all the Easter eggs, like the different video games, the different movies that were part of it.
Yeah.
The different characters, like...
Absolutely.
It was wonderful.
Tell the audience a bit more about like your favorite characters that showed up in the movie.
Well, there's Parcelis, and then there's Artemis, and Artemis is a kick-butt chick.
Absolutely.
Who's, well, that's her avatar name, but
Yeah.
real life, her name is Samantha.
Yes.
That what got me in the movie.
Yeah, it totally got me too. And I think Steven Spielberg did a terrific job taking the adaptation from the book and turning it into this film. I think he absolutely paid every ounce of respect to the original person who wrote the book, which I thought he did a great job with. Overall, definitely go out and see this movie. Totally, like, go out and see it in the theaters. I would give this 5 stars.
Oh, yeah.
Completely 5 stars.
5 stars.
Yeah?
Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 stars?
5.
Tell them how good it was. Like, just how awesome is it that they need to go out and see it right now for 5 stars.
I want to go see it again. That's how good it
Yes.
is. Like, I want to go see it again. I might go see it tomorrow. If I wake up.
Oh, God. Oh, that would be awesome.
Oh, yeah. Go see it in 3D. I would go see it in 3D just to get that effect.
Yeah. How I left the movie theater thinking was they ended it on a positive note after the main character and his friends kind of gained control of the VR universe and combined it with, you know, the real world. It ended on a really positive note, saying that people need to spend more time in the real world, and which was great. I thought that was the best way they could have left that movie. But other than that, I give it 5 stars. Samantha gives it like 10 stars. 10 stars. Go see it over and over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
Don't wait for this movie on Netflix. Go out and see it now and enjoy Ready Player One, because hopefully, as Sam said,
they might make a Ready Player 2. I'm spitballing it. It's spitball.
Alright, well, hopefully your prediction's going to be right. Alright, guys. I'll see you next time.
Sudden death in Hollywood is nothing new. Movies die at the box office all the time. So do acting careers. But did a big screen comedy script play a major role in the real-life 5 Hollywood funny men? At number 8 on the countdown is The Curse of the movie Attuck. In the late 1970s, a comedy script titled The Incomparable Attuck was making the rounds in Hollywood. The plot was simple. An overweight Eskimo from Alaska dreams of visiting the big city.
So many actors who've been associated with this project have died.
The script was written with only one performer in mind, John Belushi.
Well, you gotta suffer if you want to look good, you know?
The fateful choice may have doomed the project from the start.
He was reading it, he was preparing for it, and before he could even shoot it, he died.
His body was found after what the Los Angeles coroner determined was an overdose of cocaine and heroin.
Belushi was dead, but his spirit may still have had influence on the script. In medieval times, a book curse was used to inflict harsh punishment on anyone who took a manuscript from its rightful owner. A few years after Belushi's death, the screenplay was dusted off and handed to another actor.
It's comedy.
This time, comedy heavyweight Sam Kinison was cast in the title role.
Usually you get famous because you're funny, and then you destroy yourself. No, Sam did it the other way.
On the first day of production in 1987, Kinison panicked and locked himself in his hotel room.
And he said, I'm not doing it the way it's written.
After half a day of work, the picture was scrapped.
When this movie went down, it was all over the news. It put his career in a tailspin.
2 years later, Sam Kinison died in a fiery car crash. Kinnison would not be the last victim.
The supposed curse struck again in 1994.
I still wanted to make the movie. And they said, well, if you can get John Candy, we'll do it.
In other news, comic actor John Candy has died of a heart attack.
He was reading the script for the movie at the time that he died. That's kind of weird.
A couple of years later, I suggested we make it with Chris Farley.
Hi, I'm an idiot.
Now, I'm not going to go so far as to say that I killed Chris Farley.
Chris Farley's body was found this afternoon in an apartment here in the John Hancock building. Chicago police who confirmed the death have nothing to say about how long he'd been there or what might have been the cause of death.
What if this curse really is real?
But the cursed script was spreading like a deadly virus, passed on from one victim to the next. Before he died, Chris Farley is said to have handed the script to Phil Hartman, another Saturday Night Live cast member.
I just want to say that greed is a terrible, terrible thing. It's one of the 7 deadly sins.
1 year later, Hartman was dead, shot by his wife in a tragic murder-suicide.
Whether it's a curse, I don't know, but there's definitely a dark pall that's been cast over this project.
The script hasn't been touched in years. It's been shelved in the archives of United Artists. It's still a killer script, and if the film is ever produced, the leading role is available for any actor who dares.
When I started this interview, I told you I wasn't superstitious and I didn't believe in curses. I now do.
So hey guys, now I have my friend Zay Perry here. He's an actor, a comedian, model, but today we're not talking about Zay here, we're talking about movies and popcorn curses and phenomenon. Now if that's not scary enough about the new curse that you mentioned to me the other day, well, tell the audience more about the curse and what that's called, Zay.
Well, one of the movies that when you brought up to me about curse and controversial films, I don't know why, but the movie Tuck came to my mind. And it's one of those films that not very many people know about because it was never created because it was just so cursed they had to show it.
Yeah, and I literally did not know what Zay was talking about until I Googled it. And how it goes is someone wrote this script. I don't even know what the script is. It's about like an Alaska man.
Yeah, like an overweight Eskimo guy from Alaska wanted to go to the big city in New York.
Okay, so an overweight Eskimo man traveling to New York City. Doesn't seem like a very cursed movie, does it? But who did they give this script to?
What was it? Something John Belushi? You think?
Yes,
yeah,
first first they gave it to John Belushi, then they gave it to
They gave it to Sam. Forget his last name.
His
name is Sam.
Yeah.
And then they pass it on to John Candy.
John Candy.
Then we pass it on to Chris Farley.
Yeah.
And before Chris Farley passed, he gave it to his friend Paul Hartman.
So literally, they gave this script that they were trying to get made like 5 different times, and every time somebody read the script, they died.
Boom, 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 boom.
And I'm not even joking you. I feel slightly uncomfortable just being here right now. Like I got chills. Like I'm not even
like open up a portal and just like came inside of this room. Like
exactly.
I'm not gonna lie, I got that vibe too because I usually try to stay away from stuff like that. And I used to be involved in this stuff when I was younger.
There's something about talking about death that just gets you. Oh man. But then after that we were talking about other curses, like some of the happenings that happened to the cast of The Omen, stuff that happened to the cast of Poltergeist, like a lot of weird happenings, like the set burning down, or plane crashes, or just people dying, or people getting sick after the movie. It's crazy.
Even before the movie was even released, too. That's just weird. Like, I wouldn't know what to make of that. I'd be like, if I was actually part of a project like that, I pray to God I'm not. I'd be scared for my life, honestly.
Yo, this is why I don't make horror movies, or I try not to. It's because I love horror movies, but at the same time, I've heard so many bad happenings about movies, like having these plagued with curses and shit, that I'm like, that's why I don't use any Ouija boards or dead corpses in my films.
I have friends joke around. So I got one of my backpack, I'm like, if you guys have fun with that, I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not want to be part of that
Oh,
stuff.
man, Ouija boards are like, I've actually have used a Ouija board twice in my life.
Never in my life I cannot say I have experienced the same thing.
The first time, let's just say I was with my friends in the woods, and we actually went to a haunted area.
Yeah, set this up perfect, didn't ya?
Yes, we hiked out to a haunted graveyard in Virginia Beach, and we got some candles, and we did.
You guys are brave. I would have just set myself in a safe environment and did it if I came down to not go to it.
God, chills, dude.
Excluded environment where something can happen to me at any time. But I mean, that's how you guys set up. Good thing you're here.
And then the second time, not even joking, me and two other buddies went out to a golf course and just straight late at night, no lights, just were laying there on the golf course with a Ouija board.
Yeah.
And it was, both times were very surreal. I'm a man of faith. I don't know about you, Zay?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a man of faith myself too.
So, tell me, like, do you believe that there's actually some sort of power controlling the board?
I don't know. I never touched it. I mean, I've heard a lot of stories. I mean, it's demonic. It is devil work. When I learned in order to believe in God, you gotta believe in the devil as well. So
That's interesting.
But I believe that there is possibility with those kind of spirits and opening up portals that you don't know how to close. I do believe that kind of stuff.
I do too.
But I stay away from it.
Yeah, same here. But back to the fact about what we're talking about this particular script that was just plagued from the beginning for some, I don't even know why. Like, again, the fact that it's about an overweight Alaskan man traveling to New York doesn't seem very like cursed.
It sounds very basic, like for an older film, like maybe in the 1980s or so. It sounds very simple and basic, but just the fact that, I don't know, like I said, in the videos it said something about how when one actor dies for getting, the script was meant for him, it was John Belushi.
Yes.
And how they say when he died, like there's an ownership of the script, and if someone try to take it, they're gonna curse or haunt it or whatnot. But I never heard anything like that in my life.
It's kind of like how I see it is what they said with the Poltergeist curse, that they actually did shoot the movie with like actual human corpses. Allegedly, I don't even know why they would do that.
I'll be upset. You don't do that to actors and not tell them. That's not okay.
No. It's one thing to kind of like, one thing to pull a prank on an actor, but it's a whole nother thing.
They're cool with you guys. If you guys know each other like that,
yeah,
you do that, cool.
Yeah.
But if I'm new to the set and you guys do that,
no.
I'm like part of this curse now because of you guys.
Shit. Still, it's just weird. It's like talking about death. I'm probably gonna like do a prayer after you leave my apartment. This is the last thing I want.
And I don't want to get in a car accident. Oh man.
Maybe this segment's not such a good idea.
I hope the set lights don't start flickering.
I think that about sums this segment up. I got the chills. I don't know about you.
I'm kind of hot for some reason.
Hot?
Yeah. It's a little hot.
Oh shit, that's the devil talking. Alright guys, well thank you so much, Zay.
Thanks, man.
That's a pleasure to have you back, man.
Awesome, great
Got
story.
him from the old show on the new show. Here we go. Now, before we go, I'm definitely going to be watching the next Deadpool with this guy when that comes out.
Absolutely.
Alright, so stay tuned to then, and I'll see you in the next one.
And now today, they have decided that they are going
Just
to
look
live
at
the
those
rest
two.
of their lives
Happy, in love, and saving so much money on their car insurance by switching to Geico. Well, just look at this setting.
Do you have the ring?
Whoa, Heltzberg Diamonds, another beautiful setting. I'm not crying. I've just got a bit of sand in my eyes, that's all.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Judd.
What can I do for you, Mr. Burnett?
I want you to put a little of this into each of Will's drinks tonight.
What?
I want you to put some of that into every drink my son Will is given.
But, sir, no disrespect, but that's...
That's what I told you to do.
Hurt him, will it?
It is just to help my uptight son relax a little, all right?
All right. I'm going to tell you a story about hope, about trust, about faith. When we don't understand God's plan. Adam, so we meet. You don't want to do that, son. I just want to talk. We don't want anything to happen to that pretty mom of yours now, do we? You gonna eat that? Adam, I know you have a gift. We know you're for real, son. We've been watching you. Your gift can provide valuable intel for our country, for the homeland. Though non-traditional, your information can help shape foreign policy and plan against catastrophes.
Who are you?
I'm a patriot.
Now, in order to save his daughter from a dangerous warlord, a virtuous cop must team up with the same outlaws he put away.
How far are you willing to go?
Paradox City.
You have to escape Paradox City.
It's 7:22 in the morning. Saturday the 15th of April. It's all over. The president is no more.
No, he belongs to the ages.
He's not giving up nothing. Bennett has been on him for 2 hours. And for some reason, this joker seems to like it.
He's trying to find out what we know.
Captain, we don't need this kind of heat right now.
You know that it's just a matter of time before the feds come in on this. We are going to have reporters everywhere. Now, he needs to start talking, and fast. Can't report anybody missing for a full 24 hours. What? 3 days? We take these cases very seriously.
I know the Heimlich. Are you okay?
You saved me. How can I ever repay you?
Don't thank me. Thank your granddaughter. She's the one that led me over here.
My what?
Your granddaughter, she...
I don't know where you get your information, miss, but... Well, I had a granddaughter, but... She passed almost 20 years ago. Well, he goes back quite a ways, you know. Yeah. But Actually, it's something I've always wanted to do all of my life, but I couldn't quite figure out how to get there to do it. But I always did whatever I could at where I was located. So I actually made my national television debut back in 1970, and I was Bachelor number 2 on the dating game.
Really?
I was, yes. And then you're supposed to ask me, did I get picked? Oh, yes, I did. And so that was my debut. And then after more teaching school, more being in the military, other things, then after well, even when I was first assigned here, I knew that I wanted to continue the work as an actor. And so I had gotten an agent before I retired and started booking jobs. And one of the first ones that I did was a almost national Hardee's commercial. And I say almost because on the West Coast it's Carl Jr.'s. But 3/4 of the country, it was Hardee's. So that was actually how I didn't realize it at the time until I'd done it, but it was a SAG commercial. So that's how I got my eligible for SAG. Did not join immediately, but a year later I was booked on a show called Homicide as a Virginia State Trooper, and then that was a must pay. I had to join the union at that point. But and then Unsolved Mysteries was another national show that I booked just about that time. But in the interim, I was working on Regent student films. I did lots and lots of industrial and training films, and also traveled a lot to Washington, D.C., and Richmond to work actually as an extra since I was under SAG, and to continue making some money. So I probably worked on at least 50 more motion pictures as an extra during that time. Spent a lot of time on the road. Well, it's very interesting, kind of, because when you first start out, it's a big mystery. How do you get into SAG? Or the other question I think is, should you get into SAG, even if you're eligible? So it's a two-part. But the way that I got there was simply being booked as a principal actor on a SAG-sanctioned shoot, which was Hardee's. So that opened up everything. There are other ways, and SAG, of course, is the Screen Actors Guild. And Screen Actors Guild covers film, but they have also now joined with AFTRA, which is more of the video side, or it used to be, covering more other aspects of television. So they're together, SAG, AFTRA now. So if you're in one, you're also now in the other, and they used to be separate. But it's a union and for actors, and if you are fortunate enough to work, their jobs usually pay considerably more, even as an extra. I know because of the different rules, even as an extra, I was able a couple of different times to earn about $500 a day as an extra. And the reason for that is if you work 8 hours, you got a certain amount. Then after that, it was time and a half. And if you held on till 16 hours, your 16th hour was your day rate. So if you were paid $120 for the day, you were paid $120 for the hour. So that's how it got, and it's only happened to me twice. But anyway, those are the kind of rules. And if they don't feed you on time, they get meal penalties. And if they use smoke on set, you get an upgrade. So there's all kinds of things there that under the SAG rules. But I did not join until I had to. I had to join because of Homicide, and I had to literally go and pay my upfront fee to join the night before the shoot. So my personal feeling is, I think it's great because you're eligible. You can continue to audition for SAG jobs. I probably wouldn't join unless I got to the point I did when I didn't really have a choice. It all boils down to residuals. Now, if you're an extra, unless you get upgraded to a speaking role, you don't get residuals. But anywhere, even if you say a word or two, you get booked as a day player, and then that will end up resulting in residuals. So every time that project. So not only do you get a pretty nice day rate for doing it, but then every time that production airs on television or a video is sold or goes overseas, that all starts then. And occasionally I've had a check for like $1.98. I mean, it can be, sometimes it's not much, but it's. I think that's the main difference, is the residuals. In addition, if you really book a lot, then they have their own health care that they provide and other things. But you have to really book a lot of work. I think it's about $15,000 of work now under SAG. Plus, if you can do 10 years in a row, you can get a retirement from them as well. So, but it's really tough where we're located for that to happen. Well, the bulk of mine are local, but I have, let's see, last year they flew me out to Yuma, Arizona to work on a film called The Christ Slayer, and my goodness, it was quick. It took 3 airplanes to get out there because Yuma is kind of off the beaten path, so you had to get from, I think, Charlottesville, North Carolina to Phoenix, and then from Phoenix to Yuma. So 3 planes out. Luckily for me, because of that flight, I didn't have to be on set till 4 o'clock in the afternoon the next day, because they had worked all the night before and had a later start date. So I rested up during the day, but filmed. Only had 1 scene, but a lovely, lovely scene. And as the father, I'm a kind of important Roman person, and my son is actually the centurion that his spear pierced the side of Christ on the cross. So I was the father. We had a lovely scene, and just one, and then got up the next morning and was on 3 different planes and got home. So it was very quick. But I've worked in a couple of different projects. I've worked back in Indiana, Kentucky. One was in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and so that's probably about the farthest that I have traveled. But obviously, if they're willing to send for me, I'll be glad to pack my bag and take off. Well, I totally understand, because I didn't have a clue either when I started. There is, though, probably one of the other traditional ways that people are interested in the union is to get what is called Taft-Hartley. And what that means is many times when a film comes into the area, they will contract with SAG to say, we will use in this production X number of SAG paid extras. And so actually, I was already a member of SAG, but I worked on a little low-budget horror film up in Richmond called Cherry Falls, of all things. And that day, I think they had contracted, that was their day to use union extras. And the whole film shoot, that was the day they contracted. Well, they needed, I think, 50 for the scene, and like 45 SAG members showed up. So, consequently, they went and rounded up 5 non-union extras, and they Taft-Hartley'd them, which gave them a piece of paper to say, even though you're not a member of the union, we will pay you as if you are. All right. So, if you get 3 of those options, then you're eligible for the union as well. Well, first of all, I don't ever remember when I didn't want to be an actor. So from the time I was quite small, I kind of jokingly say I think I probably played cowboys and Indians making movies rather than just straight cowboys and Indians. But, I just always was fascinated by movies in particular, acting in particular. And so, but living in the Missouri Ozarks, which I'm delighted to have had that experience, but I really did not quite figure how to get from there to where I wanted to be, because it was quite a jump. So a lot of fits and starts of various and things like like again the summer that I taught school. I was teaching school and spent the summer with my aunt out in San Fernando. That's when I called up and got auditioned for The Dating Game, and then tried some other things. But then even ultimately I went back into the Army, but I resigned my commission at that time and moved to LA with my wife, and went to a radio and TV broadcasting school, was doing extra work, took a commercial actors workshop, and thankfully the ladies that ran that were casting directors, and they were very helpful. They got me signed up with one of the top commercial agents in LA. This is like 40 years ago. And we had saved the money, but 10 days after our daughter was born, my wife had an aneurysm. And thankfully, she was completely restored. But at that point, I was physically, emotionally worn out, didn't have a regular job, $14,000 in debt. So I felt very strongly, though, when we left that, I felt a voice telling me delay is not denial. This acting thing will happen. So that really gave me a lot of kind of comfort in that over the years. So I went back, taught schools in the Guard, went from the Guard back to active duty, was able to hang on to get my retirement, and then to catch up with where I was originally, then started actually booking acting jobs actually before I retired here in this location. Well, it just really takes a lot of work, and I think each actor, has probably their own method. I just continue to work on that script over and over and over, and I know sometimes people record it and listen. I've never really done that. I actually just go line by line, and I actually usually take a piece of blank paper as I go through, and I'll put it over my line, but I'll look at the line ahead of it, because you got to listen. One of the important things of acting is listening, so I will make sure I've heard the cue, and then see if I can just keep working till I get those lines down.
All right, guys. Well, here's my new movie recommendation of the month called The Disaster Artist. Enjoy.
Okay, who here can really reveal themselves to the class? Anybody?
I'll go. Don't talk about me, not to class, not to anybody.
Yeah, no, of course.
Show up on time. Try not to fall asleep, everybody.
Am I hearing an accent?
Oh, no. What do you mean?
How old are you?
Oh, wow, Greg age.
You're 19? Yeah. I just turned 14.
Wow, happy birthday. This is my movie, and this is my life. You're not Greg. You and me, we are all the same.
Oh yeah, how's that?
We both have this dream that we'll be famous.
Yeah, I guess we do.
You have a malevolent presence. You are a perfect villain. I could see you as Dracula, Frankenstein.
I'm not Frankenstein. I'm hero.
I give them job, I give them salary. How do you spend $5 million on this movie, Greg? Are you kidding me? $5 million? And they are not grateful. Nobody respects my vision.
Where were you born, Tommy?
Greg, that's not part of the scene.
You want an easier question? Where does the money come from, huh?
Stop, this is on camera.
I know it's on camera, just like you want it.
I do this whole movie for you, Greg.
Can we just take it again? Try to lose the accent.
The rules to the club are simple. And the guards let me forward with dog.
Alright guys, well thanks again for enjoying this month's episode of Nighttime Lights, and I will see you in the next one.